Today, the Toypixx collecting rules revisited and why I canceled my NECA IDW Last Ronin figures, even though he's clearly the best turtle. Well, hello there everybody, I'm Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx. Whether this is your first or 100th time on the channel, Toypixx is all about helping you and helping me get a whole lot better at our action figure photography. So, if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and click that subscribe while I describe what this video is all about. Now, we all have collecting rules, and my rules go towards budget, they go towards space, and they go towards finding the best figures to put in front of the lens and under the lights. So I figured we'd revisit that. Also, I'm wearing a hat today because I might have gotten up a little late to do my walk, and when the sun's really high, I don't want to fry. I actually didn't mean to do that. Let's get this party started. The first rule, and the easiest rule when it comes to my wallet, Mr. Stabby, is that I only collect 1/12 scale action figures. Now, I know that there are a lot of 1/10 out there that are just wicked and just look so cool. Believe me, I've seen the pictures, but here's the thing. It helps me keep the spending way down, and it does save on space because, hey, when they're 1/10 scale, they are bigger, they're going to take up more display space. So the 1/12 scale, whew, it's a decent size to have really cool stuff to put in front of the lens, but it's not so big that it takes up tons of space. Now, as we all know, some rules are made to be broken, and the exception to the 1/12 scale rule is, well, the Transformers MDLX line from 3-0. Bumblebee is still probably my figure of the year right now, and I can't wait for Prime to come out. We've got Megatron and Hot Rod and Starscream all look like they're coming, hopefully, eventually. So I'm stoked about those, but as far as exceptions go, well, that's it. Now, on to rule numero dos. This next rule I have specifically for photography, and that is only get figures with great articulation. Now, you might be saying, but there are so many that don't have great articulation that still look good in front of the camera, and I agree, those do look good, but for me, I'm a poser, and it might only be okay to call yourself a poser when it comes to action figure photography. Otherwise, well, it's not generally a good thing. So that's what I'm pretty stoked about when it comes to all this stuff, is being able to really move the figures. That means that even though I'm a 1/12 scale collector, I don't get Marvel Legends because they have just weird articulation. I've talked about it before, where they have just that waist cut. So it looks like you're plopping the top half of the figure on top of the bottom half of the figure. It's old school, needs to go. I'm not getting them for that. Also, Super 7, which I know is more a 1/10 scale line, but they basically have their brand based around not having insane articulation, where their idea is definitely form over function, and I kind of like a better blend of both. So, 1/12 scale action figures with great articulation, because that's what the camera likes. The third rule, and one that Mofex may have just announced something that has me breaking it already, jerks, is only collect complete figures. That means figures with heads, with hands, like tons of those things, with the accessories that make sense for the figure, so I can get them doing all kinds of things. There's a lot of gesturing that you need to do with hands. See, as I do this a lot. Yeah, but it really helps sell the figures when it comes to action figure photography, is to be able to give them a lot of looks, be able to get them to gesture different ways, have different looks on their heads, have kind of the weapons that absolutely go with them. Those are big deals. Now, the reason that Mofex might have made me go with an exception there is because they just announced a comic-colored Spider-Man, And I don't think he's going to come with a Peter Parker head. He's a little cheaper and all that good stuff. So, yeah, still, I'm going to need him because, again, Mafex Hui. Now, the exception to the rule when it comes to lines I really collect, G.I. Joe. They don't really come with extra heads and hands. If they would, they might be the perfect line, but they don't. I'm hoping that starts becoming standard as the line moves along, but we'll see. Like I said, man, every rule seems to have an exception. Comment below with your rules and exceptions to those rules. After the video, of course. This next one, the rationale is mostly cost, but you could throw some space out at it as well. It is only collect figures with looks that last. Now, what I mean by that is, for instance, the Mafex Hush Superman. That's a classic Superman. You look at that, that screams it, you know that look, you know that is Superman without a doubt. Examples that may be of looks that don't last are, again, Mafex Superman in his black suit, in his Superman Return suit. Superman with a mullet, that never, ever should last. Other examples of this, and even though it's 1/10 scale, I'll bring it up, is McFarlane Toys, the fact that they make tons of Batman variants that really, they don't have any staying power. The ones that, with Batman, that really last are the gray suit with the black bat, you've got the gray suit, blue cape and ears with the yellow oval and the black bat. There are very few looks when it comes to Batman that actually ring as suits that had staying power. So yeah, it's something that helps the budget and something that helps the space as well. This next rule, it kind of makes me sad because I see a lot of figures every day from all kinds of properties that would just look phenomenal in front of the lens and under the lights. I cover a lot of those in Photogenic Figures every weekend at 11:30 on Saturday. No shameless plugs there. But the rule is only collect figures from properties I know. And yeah, it's tough, but it's good for the wallet, it's good for the space, even though sometimes you see figures and you're just like, God, that would look so good. You gotta make decisions, and so many companies are coming out with so much cool stuff that I do know that's one I just, I have to hold on to. For now, hopefully we get to a point where I can start experimenting and get crazy with other lines and other properties, because man, so much out there would look good in front of the camera. This next rule is for Mr. Stabby. Yes, friends, it's for the wallet. No $100 troop builders. Now, as a photographer, it's always nice to have a hero or villain against all odds type photo going on. But a lot of times there are much better options, or at least equal options, when it comes to the wallet than buying a really expensive troop builder. For instance, the Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper, awesome figure. It's really, really good. And then you have the SH Figuarts Stormtrooper that you get now for like 60, 70 bucks, maybe even a little more. And that's just not as wallet friendly. It's arguably a better Stormtrooper, but when we're talking I'm basically picking up figures to just be cannon fodder, yeah, I think the Black Series does this much better, at least when it comes to Mr. Stabby. And finally, rule number 7. Here we go. It is no Elseworld / what if / multiverse figures. I know that kind of makes me a bad nerd. I'm not the guy that really digs that stuff anyway. And well, in retrospect, it could have kind of gone under the whole only looks that last category. It's not always true. But yeah, if I am able to stay away from all those kinds of figures, then I save space, I save money, and they do look cool. I'm not going to argue. There are several that look very good, and there's even exceptions to this. I know. For instance, I'm getting the 5K Toys, what is it, Fury Toys Spring, the Samurai Turtle, and I'm getting Crocker when they show up, and those you could argue are kind of Elseworlds type things. Also, when it comes to turtles, if NECA goes all in on IDW turtles, which would kind of be a multiverse, I guess, to the Mirage turtles, I'd probably go in on those. I'm very strange like that. Yeah, but because of this rule, and we're looking at a weird dystopian future, that is why the IDW Last Ronin, even though it's the best turtle figures from NECA, got cancelled. I know, these rules, one, they're made to be broken, but two, clearly, I'm a complicated individual. And that, ladies and gents, is that. Now, I do want to fire one thing off here real quick. When I said no $100 army builders and then gave like a $60 or $70 kind of example, well, the idea is no real expensive army builders when there's a perfectly good alternative for much cheaper. So, yeah, I just like saying no $100 army builders. So don't bust me too hard in the comments, although I'm sure there are several that'll, not watch the whole video and say, hey, you said no $100 army builders, and then you said $60 or $70 examples, and blah blah. And well, anyway, there you go. So, comment below. Let me know what rules you have, and also what exceptions to the rules do you have? Because obviously, rules were made to be broken. Now, as always, I'm going to put some Amazon affiliate links in the video description below. This time, I'm going to put the only figures that I've actually picked up so far this year. There are 10 that have shown up. Now, I'm going to add an 11th because I have one actually on the way. But yeah, we're pretty much at the halfway point, and I've only gotten 11 figures. But you can click on those links, check out those figures, and if you have Amazon shopping to do, take those links to go find what you need, buy whatever you need, and great news, that helps out the channel, which means it helps out me, so I appreciate it. There's also Amazon Prime Day coming up on July 12th and 13th, so if you don't feel like shopping today, please remember to click any of those links, come back to the channel, and do your shopping then. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got. I really appreciate all the help. I appreciate the fact that you're checking out the videos. It's really, really cool. I can't believe you listened to me ramble. So with that, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.